Hello and welcome back to the Limited Adhesion USF2000 League. It's back! Season 2 is underway. My name's Mark and joining me in the commentary booth we've got Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm fantastic, Mark. It's great to be back with the USF. If anything, or this season's anything like last season, this will be a fantastic and really entertaining. Can't wait.
Indeed, I am very much looking forward to it. We've got a few new names joining us for this first round of Season 2. So who have we got? We've got Sebastian Holmichael, we've got Philip Miles and Nico Minardi joining the grid.
Yeah, big welcome to those three.
Welcome to them.
Yeah. It's nice to see the grid start to fill out as well.
It definitely is. That was one thing that probably characterised the first season. Brilliant racing, but yeah, sometimes participation wasn't quite what we'd expect from some of the other more popular leagues. So yeah, great to see a few more cars on the grid. And yeah, really starting to see this season start to flourish a bit. So yeah, why don't we talk about last season then, Steve?
Last season,
we had Ture.
Yeah. Nobody could touch Ture at all. He was out front from the start. So it was just a masterclass in the USF, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so we'll see if anyone else can get even remotely close to him. Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good challenge to see who can get closest, as we see their confirmation Season 1 champion Ture Molarin by quite a long way, and Season 1 runner-up Gareth Winslade. I remember there being quite a nice intense battle for that runner-up spot.
As we can see, the full list there of the championship standings from last season, should I say. It was Ture Molarin 286, way out in front. Obviously, Gareth Winslade, Pippin, I think it was in the last race that he managed to get second. And then Merrin, Chris Foster and Gavin Kelly in the top 5. So yeah, it was a cracking season last season.
Yes, and of course we're here at Tsukuba, as we see their confirmation of no points for anyone as we wipe the slate clean and start afresh. As we see, we've now got teams championships for the first time. So yeah, not only will we have a drivers' championship to fight for, we will also be asking ourselves who is the best team on the grid. As we see there, not quite half the grid are Wizards, but we've got a good couple of Wizards teams. Not quite as many as in the F4 and the Porsche Cup leagues. But yeah, we've got a couple of Wizards. We've got some Privateers. We've got Minardi. We've got DSR represented. We've got Xtric Racing, McLaren.
Yeah, it's nice to see the DSR brand in here because obviously they've moved across from GT3, so it'll be interesting to see how they're getting on this Formula racing.
Yes, so that'll be James Pepper and his dad Steve Pepper as well, father and son duo for that popular Pepper pairing. Try saying that when you're drunk.
Yeah,
and then
it's nothing to be sneezed at.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, so as we see there, confirmation, everyone's starting on nil points for the team's championship as well.
DSR at the top. What a result! Let's stop the season there.
Indeed. As we just wait for confirmation of practice and qualifying results, let's talk about Tsukuba quickly, Steve. It's a very, very small track. It's quite well suited to these small little USF cars, and yeah, I think we're going to have some good racing here. What do you think?
I think so. It is tight and twisty, but what I have in mind is because it's on every single simulation and every console and everything like that. I think drivers will be very used to driving this track, so I think it's going to be, although tight and twisty, I think it's going to be, drivers are going to be used to it and get around there pretty quick.
Yes. Right then, Steve, why don't you take us through the grid?
Of course. Grid for the first round is Alex Murphy on pole, Ture Molarin second, and Nico Minardi third. Ben Chalcraft fourth, Gavin Kelly fifth, followed by Kenneth Olive, Chris Forrester, Sebastian Holmichael, James Pepper in ninth, 10th is Eric Pusey, 11th Chris White, Russell Bright 12th, 13th Gareth Winslade, Philip Miles, new driver in 14th, Stephen McCann 15th, and bring up the rear 16th, Keith Schooling.
for that, Steve. Of course, it's quite a short track, so obviously gaps are typically quite small. As we saw there, the gap between the top two was, I didn't catch exactly, but it was very tight up at the top there, with Alex Murphy just sneaking ahead of our reigning champion, Ture Molarin.
Yeah, very close to the front again.
As we see, gone for a short pace lap. Safety car's already in the pits, and Alex Murphy will bring us to green. As we see, the drivers all floor it, and we are racing at Tsukuba circuit. Alex Murphy hangs onto his lead. Ture Molarin stays in second. Nico Minardi looks to the inside of Ture Molarin, but doesn't quite make it.
We have a bit of carnage. Corner incident. Yeah, unfortunately, Russell Bright seems to have been caught up in that again.
Yes, that was... I know Steve McCann was in that as well, and it looks as if he just didn't get it turned in and collected Russell Bright, who was trying to go around the outside. So we see who's that spinning. We've got another replay there of a crash down at the hairpin. I think that was Eric Pusey just locking the brakes up slightly and having a little half spin. As we see Ture Molarin now in pursuit of Murphy, looking to kickstart his title defence with a win. As we see Alex Murphy in that wonderful Brawn liveried car. We've got some very colourful cars in the grid. As we see, a bit of contact there. That's Sebastian Hollmeckel. And I didn't see who else that was. I think that was Kenneth Olive involved in that as well.
I think it possibly was, yeah. It was. It's never good when you see two cars that are stuck together like that.
Yep, very fun. Right in, there's more carnage, more cars on the walls. We see Gavin Kelly up to fourth in that wonderful looking livery. I think that was inspired by the Williams FW14B, Steve.
I think you could well be right there. Yeah, lovely looking livery.
Eric Pusey and Keith Schooling there going wheel to wheel, coming out the hairpin. As we see Ture Molarin and Alex Murphy very close. Ture Molarin looks to the inside. Alex Murphy's just got enough speed to hang around the outside. As we see Pepper here in sixth. Or right on the back of Chalcroft, just looking for a way. And Ture goes for the dive. And he's got the position. Can he make it stick down to the hairpin? Murphy got a brilliant switch back there. I think he's just about got the position back. He has indeed. Will Molarin go for a dive bomb into the hairpin? He doesn't. Little lock up there from Murphy. Will they keep it on the track?
That's very close. Very close racing there.
Oh, that's an absolutely fantastic battle up the front. As we see a little gap back to Nico Minardi. But yeah, all eyes at the front, Steve. Murphy versus Molarin.
Yeah, that looks as though it could be a battle that possibly goes through the season as well, because they're very closely matched.
Yes, and I think Pepper's made a little bit of a mistake there, and now Forrester is right on the back of him. Pepper was there challenging Chalcroft for fifth, but yeah, it looks as if he's made a little bit of a mistake, maybe just dropped back a few tenths.
Yeah, he's dropped down now to sixth, so he's just lost out to Ben Chalcroft now.
So we'll see if he can catch back up. As we see, still this battle rages on. It's quite a tight, twisty track, this. Not a huge straight anywhere. You've got the back straight, which is probably the only place that you'd get a move done. As we see there, USC getting past Kenneth Olive, who was involved in an incident a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, there does seem to be very few passing opportunities on Tsukuba.
Yeah, and even then, so we've got this long back straight. Even then, this last corner isn't really a huge braking zone, so you've got to be very decisive and really advertise the move early if you want to get it done.
That's right, and also the straight isn't that long, so you've got to make the move.
Exactly.
Probably 2 or 3 corners before the straight.
As we see there, Alex Murphy just dipping into the 52s, just about doing enough to stay ahead. As we see there, Schooling going rallycross racing. Molarin not giving up, and these front two are just dropping Nico Minardi. Molarin's so late on the brakes there. I thought there might have been a little bit of contact.
Yeah, it must have been close when he squeaky bum time when as he headed towards the back of that car of Alex Murphy's.
Certainly brown flag moment.
Pepper tried to make a move on Chalcraft there, is it?
Chalcraft, yeah. So I think there must have been a little mistake from Pepper a couple of laps ago, because he's clearly got the pace. He was straight back onto the back of Chalcraft, and he's dropped Forrester a little bit, and that was a little mistake for Murphy. And as Molarin got through, I think he's got this move done, Steve.
He has, yeah, and the track seems to be quite slippery, because there's one or two that are losing the back end and squirreling away.
Yeah, even then, after he got the move done, we saw Molarin getting a little squirrely under acceleration, coming out of the
Yeah,
head.
very much.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting to see if all the drivers can keep it on track and see whether this race is done and dusted for Murphy and Molarin, or whether Murphy can take a couple of laps, cool off his tyres, regroup and attack. I'll tell you what, Steve, all this action, we're only 5 minutes in, we're only a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's fast and frenetic at the moment. Having said that, it's just such a small track. There's all sorts of things can happen per, each lap. And it doesn't take long for either mistakes to be made or challenges to be made as well. We see somebody off there to the right.
I think that was Schooling just facilitating a pass. Just getting out of the way of the leaders. So we see, tell you what, Steve, Nico Minardi's closed in on this gap, on this battle.
Yeah, he has. He's closed it down to just under a second now.
Indeed. We saw that Chris Forrester just having a little lock up. Tell you what, Pepper is still on the back of Chalcraft, just urging him to make a mistake. As can be said for Murphy on the back of Molarin. Molarin looked to have so much pace in the early few laps, and he's got the move done.
Pepper's gone down the inside.
As has James Pepper. Yeah, that was a brilliant move. Just licked the stamp and sent it. As we see, oh no,
he's just gone wide and
getting
just
involved. Yeah, that was
just collected.
Schooling.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. Pepper was having such a good race up until that point.
Yeah, I don't think there's much that Schooling could have done about that neither, because I think just drifting wide by Pepper as he comes out the corner. Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, just having a look at the replay there, I think, yeah, Schooling left the door wide open, left the place for Pepper. Pepper went for it, and I think just, yeah, went a little bit too wide, started to drift a bit too wide on exit, thinking that he was further ahead of Schooling than he actually was. That's unfortunate, but I mean, tell you what, James Pepper, is he 15, 16, Steve?
He's just gone 15.
I mean, he's so young, so, he's still got plenty of time. And, I mean, having said that, he is now a race winner in the Formula 4.
He is, yeah. So, I think he's actually the youngest LOA race winner now.
The youngest race winner, yeah.
He beats Dan by 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, and a published author as well, so... Yeah,
yes, he is indeed.
A very bright future.
Yeah, he took his family very much by surprise by being a published author.
As we see there, Chris Forrester now has caught up to the back of Ben Chalcraft, taking Pepper's position in that fight. As we see now, up the front, Murphy again with the fastest lap, a good 4/10 faster than Molarin, so... Yeah, it looked as if Molarin was going to get the place and then just drive away with it like he did so often in the first season, but that's just not happened, Steve. Murphy's just stuck with him.
Yeah, I mean,
glued to the back of him.
If Alex can keep it on the track and keep putting pressure on, we've seen in the past that Ture is actually, he can make mistakes, and you just got to be there at the right time, at the right place to take advantage of those mistakes.
He certainly can, yeah, especially if you start spamming text chat.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it will be very interesting to see if Molarin can keep it on track. Of course, he knows how to win a race. He's done that plenty of times. He's a champion. He's won quite a few championships as well, I think, including this Club 1500 championships. So he knows how to win.
He certainly does. Yeah, like you say, it was a masterclass last season.
See now, there was Forrester right on the back of Chalcraft once again, and still Murphy on the back of Molarin. As they go through the hairpin and on through the S's around the rest of the lap. There we see Chris White getting past Schooling, and that was for position as well. So, as Chris White just comes to finish lap 11, as we see Molarin and Murphy still glued to the back of each other. And yeah, they are just finishing lap 11. And yeah, Murphy stuck to the back, just can't seem to find a way past, though he does have a little look to the inside, but yeah, just can't get that place back. Of course, he started on pole, and so we know he's got the pace, and yeah, he's set fastest lap after fastest lap. You see Molarin there going a little bit wide. Is this the opportunity that Murphy needs? I don't think there's enough room, though. Molarin all out of shape there. But yeah, this tight, twisty track, just corner after corner, just no space for Murphy to get past.
No, he has struggled to just make that move. I mean, it did take 3 or 4, maybe 4 laps for Ture to make that move as well on Alex Murphy. So it's obviously a very difficult place to make the overtakes.
Yeah, I mean, we know that about Tsukuba. It's a lovely track, great to hot lap, because doing tyre attack at this track is quite popular. But yeah, it's not always the best track for overtaking. So we'll see if Molarin can defend well. Forrester just 6/10 back from Chalcroft. This battle certainly isn't over either. And I tell you what fight we haven't seen in a little while. Minardi and Kelly, they're relatively close on track. Kelly just a second behind Minardi. Yeah, that'll be a good one to keep an eye on, as Molarin goes a little bit wide. Murphy's got almost alongside, but under traction, Molarin just pulls slightly ahead. Will Murphy have enough time? He goes to the inside, but again, that corner just isn't enough of a braking zone to get a move done. Murphy all over the curb, running out wide, just begging to find a way past. He goes to the inside once again. This is 3 wide as they pass Keith Schooling and put another lap down on him. Yeah, Molarin went a little bit wide. Molarin just got a wheel on the dirt, and Murphy's through again. Murphy back to the front. So there we go. Murphy back in the lead. A little mistake there from Molarin, and Murphy pounced on that. Was not going to let that mistake go unpunished.
It's a little bit what I said before, where you just got to be there at the right place at the right time, just to capitalise on any sort of little mistake that Ture makes.
Exactly, and I think it was Molarin was probably keeping eyes on Schooling. Yeah, they were lapping Keith Schooling as well, and so Molarin was probably just focusing too much on making sure that they got through there without incident, and yeah, just ran a little bit too wide, put a couple of wheels in the dirt, and just lost enough traction.
That's all it takes.
Indeed. Now, tell you what, Steve, I was just saying about the battle between Kelly and Minardi. I think Kelly's made a lot of mistakes. He's now dropped a couple of seconds back from Minardi. The gap was about 1 second. It's now grown to about 3.5, 3.7.
Yeah, I think he might have just gone, maybe just had a bit of a squirrely moment or something like that. Obviously, we haven't got a replay of that at the minute.
But tell you what, Nico Minardi, he's hanging on in there. He's 2 seconds back. Yeah, he's keeping these front guys honest. As we see, there was that little spin for Chalcroft. He's dropped quite a bit of time and dropped behind Forrester and Winslade as well. As we see, yep, there we go, lapping Schooling down. And yeah, just locked the rear brakes. I think that was into turn 1. And yeah, the rear just snapped round.
Once again, because there's not a great deal of space to overtake, getting past the back markers could be a bit of a problem, it seems, as well.
And there we saw Molarin. I think the pressure might be getting to him because he just ran a couple of wheels through the dirt again. As you see, on board with Kenneth Olive, just coming up to lap Chris White, and he's in a tightly locked battle with Philip Miles. Eric Piercy now, a little lock up there, about 4.5 seconds or so to Chalcroft ahead. absolutely no pressure behind. See, that's Philip Miles going very wide, and that's Russell Bright through. Bright is a lap down, so that was not for position. But yeah, Miles was putting Olive under quite a bit of pressure, but that pressure's eased somewhat, back to 1.8 seconds or so. Tell you what, see, this guy right here, Nico Minardi, we've spoken about him quite a lot. We've not really seen him on screen that much, have we? Because he's just had a quiet race, just been sort of constantly putting in decent laps, just staying out of trouble.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you need. A quiet race is a fantastic race because it means you're not in any problems, you're not in any incidents. Oh, that looks like Pepper off again.
Oh dear, that's a shame. Yeah, that's the last corner.
Yeah, broken car there.
That's a shame, so I think he's used his quick repair, so that might be game over for Pepper, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for this race, I think so.
Yeah, so that brings us to 2 retirements. Steve McCann, who did start the race, was involved in that first corner incident with, was it Russell Bright, I think?
Yes, it was, that first corner.
And I don't think we've seen McCann since, which is a shame. Nice to see him on the grid. As we see now, Winslate's just been chipping away at that gap to Forrester. So, yeah, we'll see if Winslade can catch up. We've got 4 minutes left, so that's maybe sort of 5 or 6 laps. As we see Sebastian Holmichael passing Philip Miles. That is for position. That is for 10th. And now it's worth remembering that that was indeed from Philip Miles. And yeah, worth remembering that we do have a reverse grid. So that will give these guys that are further closer to the back, that will give them a chance to fight for some decent positions in the next race. You see there, Molarin lapping Philip Miles, who's dropped back a couple of seconds now from Murphy. So I think there might have been...
I wonder if his tyres have gone off, you know.
Could well have done, yeah. I know, thinking back to last season, there wasn't really much tyre wear, but it was certainly possible to overheat your tyres. And of course, when your tyres are hot, then you just get no grip from them.
Yeah, but I think we saw that at Road Atlanta, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
There was a point in the halfway through the race, people started lose it a little bit with hot tyres. Then once they'd gone through that phase and let them cool down, then the lap times came back again.
Yes, and yeah, as you say, obviously the tyres will cool down again if you let them. So yeah, after a few cool laps, you should still be able to recover some sort of lap time. They won't be perfectly brand new again, but they won't be awful. As we saw there, a little lock-up for Chris Forrester again. So yeah, Winslade is closing in, applying a bit of pressure. Winslade very much in draft range now. Then we've got the age-old problem of where do you get the pass done? Because as we've seen, it's easier said than done, around this track at least.
That's it, there's not many drivers at the moment that could actually figure out the way past anybody at the moment.
No, but... So there we go, we've got 2 X-Trick Racing cars fighting for position. We've got Russell Bright about trying to overtake Chris White, and we've got Winslade trying to overtake Forrester. And in fact, White and Forrester are teammates as well, so we've got the 2 McLaren cars defending heavily from the 2 X-Trick Racing cars. So we'll see if either one of the X-Trick Racing boys can find a way past. We've got only 2 or 3 laps left. If they want to get a move done, they're going to have to do it quickly. Having said that though, Winslade looks very close. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough to get the move done into the final corner, but he's certainly close enough to be really applying some pressure onto Forrester. Forrester there just clips the curb slightly. That'll unsettle the car somewhat. And we can see there Winslade now dives to the inside. Forrester defends. Winslade goes to the outside. But I don't think you're going to make a move stick around the outside into T1 at Tsukuba.
No, definitely not. It's definitely an inside corner for overtaking that.
It certainly is. As we see there, Winslade again trying around the outside at the hairpin. I think it must be a case of he's he's not purposely trying to overtake there. I think he's just trying to put Forrester off a bit, you know, make his mirrors full of that bright orange X-Trick racing car.
Yeah, I think if Chris Forrester just plants his car on the oh, he's just gone sideways, if you're going to say that. Let's
and that's the position for Winslade, and he's got to be very careful because Chalcroft is all over him like a rash. So we'll see if Chalcroft can find a way through. As we see now, Winslade, yeah, starting to stretch his legs. This is the white flag. Chalcroft then dives to the inside. He's not going to get that move done. Forrester covers him off. As we see now, Winslade, I think, is starting to get a bit out of reach for Forrester if Forrester wants that place back. But he can still defend heavily from Chalcroft, and that he certainly will. Chalcroft now just 4/10 behind. As we see, coming around the final corner, Alex Murphy wins Heat 1 of Tsukuba USF2000 Heat 1. Molarin in second, Minardi third. And all eyes on this Forrester-Chalcroft battle as we wait for them to come around the final corner. Here they come. Winslade's going to get fifth. I don't think Chalcroft's going to get it in the end. Ran out of laps.
No, great result there for Alex Murphy. Had to work hard for it and pushed all the way by Ture Molarin. So the results of that race are Alex Murphy in first, Ture Molarin in second, and third, last podium is Nico Minardi, followed by Gavin Kelly, Gareth Winslade, Chris Forrester, Ben Chalcroft, Eric Pusey, Sebastian Hormichael, Kenneth Olive, Philip Miles, Russell Bright, Chris White, Keith Schooling, James Pepper, and Stephen McCann on the 16th.
Yeah, so that's very good points for Wizards Diamond there in second and fourth.
Yeah, very good.
Yes, and in fact, quite good for. We've got some Minardi. We've got a couple of Minardi teams actually, and yeah, so good points haul for them as well. Be interesting to see what the results are like at the end of the entire weekend. As we see now, reverse grid. Steve, why don't you take us through the reverse grid for round 2?
No problem at all. Reverse grid for round one's race 2 is Eric Pusey on pole, Ben Chalcroft second, third Chris Forrester, followed by Gareth Winslade, Gavin Kelly, Nico Minardi, Ture Molarin, Alex Murphy, and then we have Sebastian Hormichael, Kenneth Olive, Philip Miles, Russell Bright in 12th, Chris White 13th, Keith Schooling 14th, James Pepper 15th, and Steve McCann 16th. But I'm not sure whether Steve McCann's in this race.
No, we'll have to keep an eye out for him. In fact, yeah, I can't see him on the grid. I admit, I feel quite sorry for Chris Forrester there. He spent how many laps with an orange and blue X-Trick racing car in his mirrors, and now they sat on the grid and what's that in my mirrors? A blue and orange X-Trick racing car. As we see Eric Pusey coming around the final corner, and we are racing once again at Tsukuba. Eric Pusey hangs on to the lead from Chalcroft, from Forrester, Kelly straight up to 4th, and Molarin has made a very good start up to 5th. Murphy's lost a couple of places or so, and saying that, he's fighting with Winslade. Just there, looks like Winslade's going to have the inside line and is going to deny Murphy the position. But Eric Pusey still leads from Chalcroft and Forrester. I'm not quite sure what happened to Winslade there, but he was up in 4th on the grid and he's dropped like a stone now down to 8th. So yeah, I wonder if maybe he just didn't get the best start and will fight back up through the order.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, Gareth's fairly good at coming through the pack anyway. He's a bit of a fighter.
As we see Kelly there, decisive move on Forrester. But Forrester is still in there. He's going to have the inside line into the hairpin. We'll see the battle of the late breakers. And, there's a little bit of contact and Kelly's gone round. And, oh, that's very painful for the both of them, because they're going to have to wait for the entire field to pass. That was a little bit unfortunate there. Just Forrester just tagging the left rear of Kelly.
And it looks as though Pepper's had a bit of a problem as well. He's falling like he's now 7-8 seconds behind the back markers.
Oh dear, yeah, I wonder if he had a spin at the same hairpin.
Quite possibly.
And, oh, that's a replay of the Forrester Kelly incident. I wonder if we'll see a replay of Pepper's spin. But as we see there, Molarin already up to third. Yeah, we saw this a couple of times last race, where last season, where we'd have we'd have Molarin win the first race, get demoted back to 8th for the first grid, and then after like the first lap or so, he'd be up near the front again. And it's just remarkable how he gets through these first couple of laps, just charges through the field and keeps his nose clean.
Yeah, it's surprising how quickly he does get to the front, and once he's at the front, nobody can really touch him.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, so if we look at Murphy, who was alongside Molarin on the grid, both started from the 4th row, 7th and 8th. Murphy only managed to get up to 6th, but Molarin already setting the fastest lap and up to 3rd, and he's hounding the back of Chalcroft. And it looks like he's going to get a move done anytime soon. As I was saying that, Pusey went very wide. And it looks like there was an accident there with Olive, and I didn't catch who else was involved in that, but Olive taking responsibility for that.
I think that could possibly have been an extra racing car.
Could well
that
have
was
been.
Pepper spinning at that corner.
It was, yeah, I think he was trying to take avoiding action for the Kelly Forrester incident, which is a big shame for him. But he's still racing, so he'll hopefully be able to recover some positions. As we see, that was an extra racing car going very slowly. That was Winslade, so I'm not sure if there's been an incident and Winslade's maybe lost his front wing or so. And as we see that, yep, there we go. That was, and in fact that was that incident that we saw with Olive, I think just locking his brakes and understeering slightly into Winslade. As we see, oh dear, that's Chalcroft gone round. And that's promoted Nico Minardi up to 2nd. So, given that Molarin was just involved, or well, at least heavily delayed by that incident, he's still 3rd. I don't know how he does it. So yeah, there we are, Molarin, as we can see in the replay, having to go the long way around the spinning Chalcroft.
Yep.
And still managed to net whole position. So yeah, no idea how he did that.
That let Nico Minardi through into 2nd, so he's having another cracking race.
Yes, and Molarin now right on the back of Minardi, which has really taken the pressure off of Pusey a little bit. Pusey there, 1.5 second gap. So
yeah, he seems to have just scampered away at the moment.
He has indeed. As we see, this is the battle for 2nd, Molarin versus Minardi. We see now on board with Minardi, great shot, just showing the speeds that these cars can do. Like, you think they're only little, sort of light little single-seaters, but actually, they're, I mean, look at this shot, that's really quick. Like, these cars do take some handling, as we see Molarin trying to go right the way around the outside. Doesn't make it stick, and now, uh-oh, look who's in his mirrors. It's Mr. Murphy himself. Will we get a replay of the fight from round 1?
I think it's quite possible. They are so closely matched, Alex and Ture at the moment, so we'll see what happens next.
Well, indeed. Of course, Eric Pusey got a nice 1.2 second gap up at the front, and then, yeah, we've got this little gaggle of cars. And in fact, Sebastian Holmack was pretty close to them, so we've got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. all in a line, all fighting. So we've got Russell Bright now about 2.5 seconds or so off the back of this train. And tell you what, they're starting slowly to catch Piussi. So I wonder if this is Molarin maybe playing the long game, playing the sensible game, thinking I'm not going to attack Nico in front, so that we as a group can catch up to Piussi and put him under a bit of pressure. As we saw, it's working. That was a little block up there from Piussi.
Yeah, they've now got into excuse me. They've now got into tow range, so within the second, so they'll be starting to pull up to the back of Eric now fairly quickly.
Yeah. There was another little lock up from Piussi, feeling the pressure. You see Molarin late on the brakes, closes right up to the back of Minardi, but just no way through. Of course, he's got a good run here, but again, it's the same thing that we always see in Tsukuba. Straights just aren't long enough, so we see there a little lock up from Nico Minardi, just really feeling the pressure.
Yeah, you're constantly relying on a slight mistake like that to get a pass done.
Yeah, but
it's just not quite long enough to get a decent running pass.
As we saw there, Keith Schooling being lapped. So Piussi caught him right in the last corner. It was really unfortunate, and that has unfortunately lost him a place. Looks like it might be 2 if Molarin to be late on the brakes, and he is late on the brakes, and I think Molarin's got that place done. You got to feel for Piussi there.
Yeah, it almost looked as though Eric had got some sort of damage there, the way he was slowing down. I'm hoping that he's not, and he can carry on.
I think Schooling being a lap down had given Piussi some room, but I think Piussi maybe underestimated how much room there was and just tapped the brakes slightly. And yeah, just lost all that momentum, which is so crucial in these cars. So we have a new race leader as we approach half distance. Yeah, I think just looking at that replay there, I think it's touch and go whether Schooling left enough room. If he did leave enough room, it was just enough room. So yeah, I think Piussi, a little bit unfortunate position for him. But he's a quick guy, as Piussi, so we'll see if he can hang on to the back of these guys. There may still be some carnage later on in the race.
Pepper with his fastest lap of the race so far. 54 flat.
That's good. He's slowly catching up to the pack. We've got Philip Miles now just 3 seconds ahead of him. As we see this battle, Piussi versus Murphy, with Holmacher relatively close behind. Minardi and Molarin look like they're starting to stretch the gap a little bit. I wonder if, like we were saying in the first race, maybe Piussi's tyres are starting to go a little bit. Yeah, his lap times are a good sort of half second or so off what he was doing earlier.
Yeah, if he's just overheated them slightly, he'll need a couple of laps to let him cool down.
As we see him defending heavily from Murphy.
Oh, there's contact.
Oh, there's contact. I have to see. There we go. Murphy doing the very gentlemanly thing and realising that it was his mistake and just slowing down and giving the position back. As we see now,
promoted Russell Bright up to 6th place, is it? No,
it has indeed. As we see the battle for the lead commences. See Molarin just trying to go left, right, up, down, this way, that way, forwards, backwards, every which way to try and get past Minardi. Not quite finding the room. Every time he finds himself with a bit of a run, there's a corner, and we got another spinner. That's Bright.
Russell Bright round.
And we see Murphy locking the brakes. I think he just lit the gas up a bit on throttle. Jumped on the brakes to stop it going round. As we see now, this battle for the lead. Molarin's got to run. He pulls to the inside. Goes back to the outside. Minardi's positioned his car so well. Minardi, he's done a fabulous job so far. Could this be a win on debut as Molarin tries to go around the outside? Will he be late enough on the brakes? He's hanging it around the outside, but he's going to run out of room. I think he's still got the inside line. Will he be late on the brakes into the hairpin? He is late on the brakes and he's got the position. Molarin through to the lead, and that's a little half spin for Minardi. He's going to lose. Is he going to lose second? He has lost second to Michael. That's a shame. So we have now a new race leader, a new second place, and Minardi looks like he's in danger of dropping off the podium at this rate because he's now just 7 tenths behind.
Yeah, but what is good, Mark, good to see, Mark, is the fact that the new drivers have come in and they're not sitting at the back, they're getting involved, and it's fantastic to see them competing.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, there we go. So we see a replay of what happened to Minardi. I think he tried to do the old switcheroo, the old over-under, and yeah, just got a little bit too high up on the curb, essentially through it slightly, which is a great shame. But I mean, he's still in third. He's still only 7 tenths off the back of Paul Michael, so he could still be in for a very good result. And well, as we've said in the previous round, Molarin's not immune for making silly little mistakes. So this race is still wide open with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, I know. Molarin's now 1.7, 1.8 seconds clear of Sebastian Michael. So, in realistic terms, I can't see him dropping that now. I
certainly don't think he's going to drop it based off of pace. But as we see there, Murphy setting the fastest lap, going purple with a 53.1. The question is whether Molarin will make a mistake on his own. But yeah, he's just stretching that gap slightly. 10th here, 10th there. Just got to make sure that he keeps on the black stuff.
Yeah, just over 2 seconds now, so he's starting to pull away from the rest of the pack now.
Of course, his teammate Kelly is in 5th. So this will be very good points haul for whichever one of the many thousands of Wizards teams Molarin and Kelly are a part of. See here, Bright and Chalcroft are quite close together. Chalcroft just 4 tenths back. And Winslade down at 13th. So yeah, unfortunately not the highest scoring of weekends for Extra Racing, which is unfortunate because both drives have showed quite a bit of pace.
Yeah, I think Russell was very unfortunate in the first race. Gareth in this race, so yeah, it's not been a good race from that. Like I say, Russell's he's now in 7th after that little half spin, so managing to recover a little bit.
Well, we've still got 5 minutes left. We can see how they do. You'll see now it's starting to drop back from Minardi slightly. So a couple of tenths here and there. We see now Molarin really stretching the gap in the front. And this is our battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, in fact. Paul Michael from Minardi, from Pusey, from Kelly.
All evenly stretched out at the moment.
They are, yeah, all about a second apart. Yeah, we'll see what happens over the last 4 minutes now. As you can see from the track map, apart from Molarin, who's doing Molarin things up at the front, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all relatively close. In fact, Russell Bryce not a million miles away. He can still pick up a few more places.
I think Alex Murphy in the past couple of laps has done a sub 53 second lap, holding the fastest lap at the moment.
That is certainly a decent pace from Murphy.
Very good.
As we see now, Pepper isn't a million miles away from Chris White, so we could see another position for Pepper. He's recovered well after that early spin. He's recovered up to 11th.
He has, yeah. And he's still on the lead lap as well, which is it's quite some undertaking.
He is, yes. So, Nico Minardi now just 7/10 back from Michael.
I'll have to retract that last statement. I've just realised he's not actually. It must have been on another car which was on the same lap as James.
No, Pepper is still on the lead lap. So the leader has lapped everyone. So Molarin's just about to lap Winslade. So Winslade and above are all on the lead lap.
Ah, right, got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a quirk of the overlays that Pepper's shown in blue right and on the left.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we've got Nico Minardi now 7/10 back. Kelly's now right in the back of Piercy, just 5/10, 4/10 even. But with maybe 3 laps to go, will they find a way past? This is wizards on wizards action here. Now this is sort of a Red Bull Toro Rosso type. They are all part of the Wizards family, but these two are racing for different teams. We've got Wizards Amethyst. We've got Wizards Amethyst and Wizards Diamond, I think. So, as we see a spinner, that's all Michael. So, right, that's unfortunate. I'd like to see a replay of what happened. But now we see Piercy, Kelly, and Murphy all nose to tail, and suddenly we've got Molarin and Minardi both have sort of a good 3-4 second gap, and then these three are all just nose to tail. So as we see what happens, Michael, yeah, just gets a little too throttle happy.
Yeah, just lost it underpowered, didn't he?
Yeah, as we see Kelly now looking to the inside. It's pass or be passed here. Kelly's going to have to make the move, or he's going to get passed by Murphy.
Yeah, and any sort of mistake, and Alex Murphy's just sniffing around the back just to pick up the pieces.
Indeed, but Kelly's got to be so careful, because if he does go offline and try for the move but doesn't get it done, then Murphy will be right there to capitalise. You see these three getting closer and closer, so nearly touching. It's incredibly clean racing from the trio. As we see now, these guys are just getting the white flag. So they have maybe 2 more opportunities to get this pass done. You see there, Kelly going left, right, trying to find a way past. But he does do it. Oh, Piercy's locked up. He's taken out Kelly. Murphy's through onto the podium. What happened there?
Which is exactly what we were saying. Oh, dearie me.
Yeah, it's unfortunately there for Piercy. Just got a little bit too much onto the curb. Just locked his brakes and just... Yeah, you can't steer when your brakes are locked like that. So... Dare I say it, Steve, we're back to Season 1. Molarin wins. Heat 2 of round 1 of the USF2000 Season 2. Nico Minardi doing a great job to get a podium on debut in 2nd, and Murphy 3rd, as we see Michael losing it across the line.
He was almost sideways over the line then.
Well, so Steve, why don't you take us through the results then?
Of course. Race 2 of round 1, we had Ture Molarin taking the win. with Nico Minardi and Alex Murphy rounding out the podium. Then we've got Eric Pusey, Sebastian Holmichael with that fantastic sideways action. Russell Bright recovering at 6th, Gavin Kelly 7th, Ben Chalcraft 8th, Chris Forrester 9th, and Chris White in 10th.
Lovely, thanks for that, Steve. As we see now, championship standings. Surprise, surprise, it's Molarin on top. 92 points. Murphy's only 4 points back though, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing if that's going to develop into a proper title fight. And we've got a trio of... Sorry, so we've got a trio of M's, Molarin, Murphy, and Minardi in 3rd on 77 points. And then quite a big gap already to Kelly in 4th with 45 points.
Yeah, it is, but there's a long way to go yet.
There certainly is. As you see, some donuts in celebration. So, as we see, Wizards Diamond on top, 137 points. Already a commanding lead over Minardi Simsport.
Yeah, I think this Wizard thing should be they should be racing with square wheels. Give the rest of us a chance.
Maybe. We'll have to speak to the stewards on that one. As we see, X-Trick Racing on 52 points in 3rd. That's actually a really decent showing from them.
It's nice to see him up there.
I was saying that I didn't think this would be a particularly high-scoring round, but they've done really well. So yeah, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to get involved and come racing with us, there's our link to our Discord, and we'll also put a link in the description. Next time up, it's at Donington Park. So yeah, thank you very much, Steve, for commentating.
You're welcome. It's been brilliant being here, and I'm looking forward to Donington this next time.
And thank you very much for tuning in and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye. Happy days.